would ask everybody to assume a very balanced, comfortable position, preferably with limbs uncrossed. When this is achieved, close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you inhale, feel the essence of life permeate the lungs, and as you exhale, feel disparate energy leave. Take another deep breath. As you inhale, feel the very essence of life extracted from the air, and as you exhale, feel the idea of separateness leave. Take one more deep breath, and as you inhale, feel the interconnectedness of the space between the beings of light that are in this room, and as you exhale, feel the separateness that left now return as unification and oneness. Visualize with me. We are individually in our own homes, specifically in the bathroom. In front of us is a full-length mirror. We gaze into it, looking at who we are. Clothed or not, it doesn't matter. For the way that we see ourselves is the way in which we are most comfortable seeing ourselves. One by one, our minds turn inward, and we study all the things that make us unique in that mirror. As we study those features, one by one, on our own time frames, we reach a certain amount of joy. As we reach this place of joy, we realize that there is no loneliness, for we have ourselves as our perfect friend, and we know that that overlighting intelligence of our lives, the ascended part of ourselves that has gone beyond to reunite with the Godhead, is the overlighting intelligence and love that we can draw on individually whenever we need. As these realizations come to our mind, we feel energetically the other things in our space, whether they are children, pets, significant others, or simply stones, special sacred tools that we use while we're walking our journey and our path. We see them for what they are, sentient, fellow travelers along the way. And as we make these energetic connections, when we gaze into the mirror, we see our band of spirit guides with us. They are looking out at us through the mirror. One by one we extend a hand, and one by one they step through to join us. As this room becomes crowded, when we look around, we consciously and intently change our placement to our sacred space, our temple. Whether on the physical plane or not is irrelevant to the fact that we are where we are the most sacred, the most safe, the most potent, and the most aware. As we find ourselves in this space, we resume conversation with our guides and all of our connectedness that comes from the things that are in our world. We feel those energetic tendrils reach out. We resume conversations left over with our guides, our other loved ones, the stones that are sentient and conscious, the plants that are with us that are cherished and loved. Magical and spiritual tools that we work with continually are there, glowing bright. And what we perceive is that what was invisible in the form of air in our physical form has now become visible gold. As we see it flow back and forth, we can almost see the words and the thickness of the substance that links us with everything in our paradigm. As we feel those bonds strengthen and grow, as we feel renewal, rejuvenation, youth, and joy occur, there comes that point in time during which we realize that the axiom of as above, so below is true, and that while everything that is with us is sacred, so too is there a greater manifested universe. When the realization occurs and the awareness is raised to that level, one of the things that engages us is the idea that the substance of the greater universe is as malleable as the spiritual gold which we witness in our sacred space. And our alchemical imagination and our mind begins to wander. Some would say daydream, and some would be right, and some would be wrong. For is this not the substance of focused intent and will, that part of our imagination which urges us onward? And so we begin to let the conscious mind go and roam free in a blending with the subconscious in dance moves that are three-dimensional and beyond. We see spirals and pillars of light issue out from us to the greater universe, all with focused, clear, guided intent, concise, honed, focused. As we watch these spirals of energy pour out, we know that we control them. We know that we guide them. We know that what we are projecting are our intents. And as we project it, we know it is simply a matter of a human understanding of time until they manifest. For some it is comfort, for others it is spiritual growth, for others it is healing. And we all know that because it is focused and strong, that it will hit its mark true and pure. We all understand that within each one of us is the perfected microcosm. And we understand that by linking into the greater universe of the macrocosm, we raise our vibrations to vibrations which are harmonious, to resonate and bring those things to us. As we clear our mind and focus on what that laser-like intensity is, one of the things we notice is that as we turn off our conscious mind and project our intent, there is an urging, a power beyond what we have currently known that is enhancing what we are doing. When we still our conscious mind and we retreat to the cerebellum of the brain, we realize that that energy comes from above and beyond us, above being subjective. And as we stretch our six senses and we look around, we perceive that that extra energy is our ascended self, to some known as the perfected self, to others known as the holy guardian angel, to others known as the higher self. And we realize in that fraction of a second that it is that being who walks hand in hand with us when we get out of our own way. It is that being who has answered our call when we say we are willing to do the work, and then we demonstrate that we do the work. We realize it is that being that is the perfect friend, lover, confidant, and teacher. And we understand that whatever title and moniker we may give it fade away into obscurity as we simply subsume it into us. And as it opens itself lovingly and graciously with us in a cosmic dance played throughout the ages, in billions of lives, billions of times, conscious and not. And we realize that in this one fraction of a moment, as we stand here in our sacred space, surrounded by everything that is sacred to us, that as we connect with this energetic that is guiding us, as we choose to work with this being of greater human intelligence, as we choose, so too is that call heard. And as that call is heard, so too is our work enhanced. We understand the duality that is the illusion and the illusion that is not duality. We understand the fact that the personality self is important while we are physically manifested. We understand the fact that this is the intelligence that brought us down to physical form and gave us an opportunity, and we understand the fact that it is our free will choice to reconnect with that energy. And we also understand that it is our choice to do the work on a millisecond by millisecond basis every day of our lives in an enrapturing dance of joy and lust for the great ascension. And as we understand this, we also understand we're never alone. We understand that furthering their great work on a small scale is how we achieve those results that others would call impossible or unbelievable. And we understand the necessity of clear, concise control of language, as thoughts are things, and as the language limits or frees us. And we understand still, as a final statement on the formula, that there are mysteries that cannot be conveyed. And as that realization hits our consciousness, we find ourselves back in our sacred space, taking a few moments of silence to digest those internal mysteries which have just now been revealed to us. For some of us, synthesization and integration of this material comes easily. For others of us, we must be conscious of what it means to understand the unconveyable. But all of us stand in our individual sacred space, connected with the sheer gold energy of love, life, and the universe, through all those things that we hold sacred in our personal spiritual paradigms, knowing full well that on this day, the day of the new moon and of new beginnings, in the encroaching season of rebirth, renewal, and thanks, we understand that we are our perfect friend. And we understand that that ascended aspect of ourselves that has already reached reunion with the Godhead loves us. And through this love, all is possible. And through this love, all will be achieved. And as we realize the illusion of time, we also smell the sense of 1,000 world faiths blending together, filling us very deeply, causing us to flex our lungs outward, revitalizing us and renewing us. As we exhale impurities and stagnation, we feel our bodies are whole, wholesome, and yet becoming in the endless cycle that Mother Earth has. We feel that connection go beyond physical form with those sacred items that are in our personal space. We feel that connection between ourselves and our ascended self. We feel that connection between ourselves and the Godhead. And finally, we feel that connection between ourselves and our physical form. which is calling back to us. And it is calling to us through the language of love. It is calling to us to offer itself with every ounce of its being, giving itself over to us to not only enjoy the fruits of this physical world, but also to give everything in its existence in the name of the great work. And as we realize this, as we hear this call, as we reunite with our physical form, we can smell the gold smelted in our nose. We can feel it around us, the prana of energy, of life itself that comes to us from the sun, revitalizes us. And as we slowly hover around our physical forms, we feel those sacred consciousness, we feel those sacred tools, we feel those sacred items from our sacred space calling to us, yearning to work with us. And we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that every step on the path is the right one. And we know, we simply know. As we see our bodies below us, we begin to enter through the crown of the head. As we slide in, it's like putting on a silken glove. And as we reconnect with that physical vessel that will give everything in the name of spiritual evolution, we feel the desire to stretch and move and remember the physical form. And as we get reacquainted with it, we feel the desire to look around and see who else took this journey with us. And we smile with love and with joy. So may